Hi guys, it's JBlade2000, and today I want to do a 3-part series on Sword Art Online. Now, I am a minority on this, but I really do like Sword Art Online, and I want to do a 3-part series. My first video, this video, will be talking about why I personally like Sword Art Online. The second video will mostly be handling criticisms that yeah, I think the show does have problems, and those criticisms are warranted. And the third will be criticisms that I don't think are warranted at all against this show. So, just be looking for those in the near future. And I do like Sword Art Online. And through these videos, I just hope to have the people that hate Sword Art Online try to understand those who do like Sword Art Online despite all of its flaws. And those who like Sword Art Online kind of can understand where the hate from Sword Art Online comes from. So let's just start with why I like Sword Art Online. Well, Sword Art Online has been described as a gateway anime, an anime that many people have seen for the first time. It was their introduction to anime. And for me, it was an introduction to more realistic, more heavy anime. Because the first anime I ever watched was Dinosaur King. And it was dubbed by 4Kids, so you know it's not going to be very good. It was completely cartoony. It was kind of a mess. And, wow, I need to upload the second half of my Dinosaur King video. Anyway, and as I got older, I wanted a bit more, and that was when Beyblade Metal Saga came out on Cartoon Network, and that was more serious. And yeah, it could still be silly, and that was okay. Silly's fine, but I mean, this was, you know, it had a dark power and a top that can steal souls and all this kind of stuff. So it was much more serious. And then came Card Fight Vanguard. And what Vanguard did was it went full force with its seriousness and was really one of the first more adult cartoons. I'm sorry. Anime. What am I saying? Anime that I had seen. And then came Sword Art Online. Vanguard was the first subbed anime I had ever seen. And now subbed is my preferred method of watching anime. And Sword Art Online was my second. I saw it on Netflix, saw everyone talking about it, wondered what it was, and I saw it. And I thought it was good. And so, in a way, Sword Art Online was a gateway to things like Full Metal Alchemist and those kind of shows. Right now, I really like watching Excel World. It unfocused once again right now, which I believe is by the same author. And SAO World has its problems too, but that will probably be a review for later. And so SAO really bridged the gateway between me and growing up and watching better, more I'm gonna say adult anime with more serious themes and things. But the weird thing is, even though I like Sword Art Online, I absolutely despise things like the Asterisk War and Deers and Buddy Fight that are just completely stupid. And yet, I like Luck and Logic of all things. So, I don't know about my taste in anime. And so, that might have something to do with it. But it wasn't until I started watching a few of Digibro's videos, and he was talking about how the context of when you watch a show and of how you see that show, and your opinion of it can change depending on when you saw it and why and how. And I think that's what happened to me with Sword Art Online. Because when I saw Sword Art Online, I wanted to escape, and my life was very crap, as you might be able to tell from my testimony video if you want to watch that. And I fell into some deep depression, and anime was one of the ways I coped with it. Anime was one of my escape methods for the real world, for my crap situations that I was in. And Sword Art Online has a theme of escapism, with Kirito and Asuna escaping. Even after a big death game, they go into these virtual worlds because they love it there. They can be themselves. They're just in their element. And so, for Sword Art Online, having one of the big themes be escapism, and me, as I was back then, wanting to escape with anime, that probably connected. And Sword Art Online was a big panic show. People were panicking, people were in fear, people were confused, and I didn't feel the same level. I mean, I'm not in a death game, but I was at a point where I was confused, and I didn't know what was going on, and so my feelings kind of mirrored the themes of the show, and I could actually kind of relate to Kirito, that, you know, he just wants to block out everything and play those games, and because he has played computer games a lot, he has gotten better at them. And so, I think that might have to do with Sword Art Online, but that's still not exactly it. I love the idea of people finding love within a death game, within something that's filled with panic and despair, that love can come through and conquer, that love between two people can make them very happy even in the midst of their situation. You know from my past videos, I am just a huge hopeless romantic, and I thought the scenes with Asuna and Kirito were great, and sorry, I had to adjust my computer there. And so it was very romanticized. And I was also playing a computer game, Guild Wars 2, during that era, so I kind of thought, you know, I know almost nothing about computer games, but, you know, I thought, oh, hey, this is kind of relatable. I kind of play a computer game too, although, you know, it was just one game. I'm not a huge gamer. And as I look back on Sword Art Online, and I've watched the second season, and the second season has glaring flaws that I feel were more obvious in the second season than in the first, but the first still has some big ones. But I love the ideas behind Sword Art Online. I love the themes behind Sword Art Online. Yes, they didn't present those themes well, but I love the themes anyway. I love the theme of love conquering a world of despair. I love the theme of I connected is a more appropriate word, connected with the theme of escapism at that point in my life. Sword Art Online for me is a guilty pleasure because the characters weren't necessarily good, the presentation wasn't necessarily good, but it struck me on an emotional level. Kirito and Asuna's relationship, I hope to have a relationship like that in the future. They made me feel jealous and envious, and I continue to hope to have that with my girlfriend. And so I enjoy Sword Art Online because I have connected emotions to it, and I have seen it through an emotional lens and not an analytical lens. And I was new. I actually got most of my analytical skills from watching videos like Nostalgia Critic and those kind of people that actually review stuff. And I went, yeah, some of that's right. Oh yeah, I can see that. And so that's when I started developing a critical eye. That's when I started developing some stuff is really bad, some stuff is really good. Why is that? And so by that time coming around and really understanding now what makes something good, what makes something bad, I can fully see that Sword Art Online has its problems, but I still like it because of the emotional aspect. And that might not be what, other people might like Sword Art Online for. But as for me, looking back, Sword Art Online mixed with my emotions, and I think that's why I like this show, even though it's not necessarily good, is because honestly it knew what I was going through, to put that in quotes. So next video, it will be the criticisms of Sword Art Online that I think are correct. So stay tuned for that one. JBlade 2000 out.